if you're self-employed or if you don't have a workplace pension, you can set up a SIP. The difference is with a self-invested personal pension, you're in control of the funds that you invest your pension in. An employer's pension, you're not in control. Obviously, it's managed for you. Now, one of the key benefits of having a SIP compared to a normal investing account, did you say? So for me, I like that freedom. I like that control that I can access my funds at any time.
Hi Kelvin, welcome back to another video. How's your week been?
Not too bad. No, it's been good. It's been good. Been doing my modules, which is good. The only downside is obviously Chelsea losing yesterday. I mean, Arsenal looks like they're going to win the league,
Yeah.
But I don't even enjoy football anymore with how terrible we are. Everything about us. Don't even get me started. I know that the Arsenal lads, my Arsenal friends, are absolutely gonna. Arsenal lifting the league.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Terrible, isn't it?
What was interesting? Arteta's got a lot of stick, and he's done well. Credit where credit's due. He's done well. But as a Chelsea fan, I don't know what you guys are thinking at home, but I can't even watch football. I can't even enjoy football, seeing what's happening. I was hoping that Man City can, but it just looks like they're gonna run away with it now.
100%, 9 points clear now.
But City's got a game in hand, don't they? So,
yeah, they do, yeah.
But what I like seeing about Arsenal yesterday, in yesterday's game with Max Dowman, that's his name. What a talented footballer. I posted some videos today on my social media. The kid is unbelievable. 16, playing like that at 16.
Crazy.
God, Dennis.
Yeah.
Talent. What a talent.
I know.
What a talent. Arsenal are going to win it. Arsenal are going to win it now. Yeah, we might as well. Congratulations, Arsenal, in advance.
Yeah, we could probably talk about football all day.
Yeah, what we got in the works today? What have we got? What are we covering?
Since the channel has been growing a lot.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. We're getting a lot of positive feedbacks, which is great. Credit to those who are supporting us and following us. Subscribers is almost at 1,000.
Oh wow!
So we'd like to obviously challenge that, push to 2,000, and that tells us that we're doing something right, Dennis.
100%.
Yeah. No credit to Alan. That's me and you, mate.
Yeah.
But we'd like to show our appreciation to everybody that sort of tunes in. As always, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share. If there is anything you're unsure, please do mention it in the comment section, and we'll sort of do our best. But no, I'm really, really pleased with the feedback, with the growth of the channel. Really pleased with it. Yeah.
It's really good to see. So yeah, today we've got a few questions on private pensions and SIPs.
Oh.
And how to start investing for retirement.
Yeah, well, I've been sort of getting a lot of questions. Obviously, I've sort of helped people with information in terms of tracking old pensions, old workplace pensions and those sort of things, and sort of helping them with the information on how they can sort of take control and manage their own pensions and pick the right funds as opposed to, no, it's good. I've been getting, so this is going to be an interesting topic to cover, and hopefully, we'll be able to cover all the points, all the questions that we've been getting, and we'll be able to cover that in this video. Yeah.
So one question that we do get a lot, how do I actually start a pension?
How do you start a pension? So how do you start a pension? So if you're employed, an automatic workplace pension is set up for you. So for employees are usually, if you work for a company, you get something automatic enrollment into your workplace pension. So how you can sort of get information on that is usually on your payslip. If you're a PAYE payment, it's usually on your payslip, how much has been deducted, how much has been contributed. It's still, the basic of employees contribute 3% and your employer contributes 5%, unless obviously if you want to increase that. But one of the ways to set one up or to, take control of your pension is to get in touch with your HR, or usually if you are enrolled, the provider of the pension provider of the company that you work for will usually contact you, and either by letter or by email, and it's usually, I think, some pension providers companies such as AJ Bell or Scottish Widows or Nest UK or the People's Pensions. You can usually contact them, and they'll sort of give you an understanding about how it's set up or how it's not set up, or the funds that they're sort of invested in, and those sort of things. And also the interesting thing about pensions is that we talk about we talk about stock market investing, but most pensions are invested in a stock market. So you're invested. Your pension is you're invested one way or another in the stock market without even realizing. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
What people kind of look at is if they don't have a workplace pension, or if they're self-employed, how would they set one up for themselves?
It's one or two ways. You can set up, if you're self-employed or if you don't have a workplace pension, you can set up a SIP. And a SIP is a self-invested personal pension. And you can research this, you can, look on Google, and you can set one up with Hargreaves Lansdown, you can set up with, as I said, AJ Bell, you can set one up with Vanguard. These are the providers the platforms that you can use. Now, if you know what you're doing in terms of if you know the funds to invest in, you can set it up. Now, if you're somebody that you don't know, how to invest your pension, or you don't know what funds to pick, or ETFs or bonds or whatever to pick, you can get in touch with pension providers that it's usually managed for you by a fund manager. And these companies, similar to the workplace pension, where they'll have pension providers that will manage the funds for you. Now, the difference is with a self-invested personal pension, you're in control of the funds that you invest your pension in. An employer's pension, you're not in control. Obviously, it's managed for you. For me, I prefer to be in control. I have a SIP. I have a SIP with my limited company, which I pick my own funds that I invest in, and I have a historical, the fund that I have a historical knowledge in terms of the annual returns and those kind of things. So I know roughly, based on the contributions I make every month, I know what to expect by the time that I'm able to access it at 55. I think in 2028 is going to change from 55 to 57, but I know roughly what to expect. So it's one or two ways. You can open a SIP, a self-invested personal pension, or you can have a personal pension, by contacting, pension providers such as Aviva or AJ Bells or Scottish Widows or Nest UK and those kind of things. And as I said, if you're not confident, or if you don't have the knowledge of how to invest your pension, you can contact these companies and they'll do it for you. So it's key to understand the difference. And I read an interesting article which was really, really surprising, on 80% of self-employed workers do not have a pension in place, which is it's something, because, in the UK, the median pension pot is between 30 to 60,000 pounds, which is not enough. I know that, the state pension, you get £230 a week, but with the high cost of living crisis that we're in at the moment, fuel prices, food prices, council taxes are high, energy, it's all high. So it's important to really take control over your pension, over your retirement, so it's key. So covering this topic today, I hope that we're able to cover a lot of topics, people have raised.
Yeah. So for the 80% of workers who don't have a pension, like you said, what are the main benefits of contributing to a pension compared to just investing normally?
So, the 80% is obviously the stats that we have, which is not good. It's not good at all. Yeah. And I think it can be down to information as well, because it's easy to set up a self-invested personal pension. As I said, you can set one up with Vanguard, you can set one up with Hargreaves Lansdown, AJ Bells. These are companies that you can set it up. But the key thing is to understand, to learn what fund to invest your pension in, to contribute in. Now, one of the key benefits of having a SIP compared to a normal investing account, did you say? So if you have a SIP, obviously you have that £60,000 annual allowance in a SIP, compared to if I, for a normal stocks and shares ISA account, the annual allowance is £20,000. A lot of investors that I see, they tend to prioritize investing in their pensions because of that huge allowance amount of £60,000. And also you get that 25% tax-free on any withdrawal. So and also you get, if you're a basic taxpayer, you get 20% tax relief. And, meaning that for every £80 that you contribute into your SIP, the government will top up £20, making it £100, in your pension if you have a SIP. So that's a few of the benefits, the 60,000 allowance and the tax relief from the government. So, but for me, my strategy, yes, I have my own pension that I manage, but equally I prioritize investing in my stocks and shares ISA because I want that control. I want to be able to access my funds whenever I want to. Not to say that, because I have my target. I have my target of, an amount that I want to reach. And I feel with the pension, obviously, you can't access it until you're 55. And then that changes in 2028 when it's pushed back to 57. So for me, I like that freedom. I like that control that I can access my funds at any time. So it's not to say that I don't contribute to my pension. I do contribute to my pension because obviously, I take full advantage of that 20% tax relief and that government top up. I take advantage of that. And also as a limited company owner, as a business owner as well, if you contributing into the pension, obviously that counts as a business expense and I'm able to, that, corporation tax and everything, you pay less. It has, we can touch on that, the debate, which is better, stocks and shares ISA or a SIP. And some will prioritize investing in their SIP, some will prioritize investing in their stocks and shares ISA. But for me, I sort of tend to be more 90% focused into my stocks and shares ISA and sort of 10% into my SIP whilst taking advantage of that government top up.
And my final question for you is, for someone watching who hasn't really looked into their pension yet, what should they do first?
I mean, it'd be good to track your pension. It'd be good to track it. For me, when I came out of full-time football and I was sort of in semi-professional and I had to work. So I worked for a couple of companies and my obviously automatic workplace pension, I was enrolled. And when I set up my business, obviously, and while studying full-time as well and running the business, I had to track, the providers. And, because I'm well informed and I know what I'm doing. I know in terms of which funds to invest my pension in. I was able to contact the companies and move it across to Vanguard, where I manage it myself and pop on a monthly basis whilst benefiting from that government top up. That 20% tax relief from the government. So, I'd encourage people to, obviously, I hope you get as much information as you can from this. If there's any sort of bit of information you're unsure of, do pop it in the comment section. Do email us, do DM us, and we'll be able to get back to you. But, with the stats, with the median pension pot in the UK being sort of £30,000 to £60,000, that's not enough. Yes, you get the state pension, you get the £230 per week, but that's not enough. So it's vital. It's really important. It's vital that you track your pensions. You learn, if you're confident of investing your pension, learn to do so. You can invest it in the global index or even in the S&P, or if you want some more diverse. For me, my strategy for my pension is different to what's in my stocks and shares. I invest obviously in the S&P 500 accumulation fund, but for my pension, I invest in a US total index fund, which gives me exposure to owning the whole US economy. That's just my strategy. I'm not, going to get political here, but that's just my strategy. But I'd encourage people to, do their research, to educate themselves on how to do it and take control. It is your money after all. When I decided to take control, that's when I started to track my funds and, with pensions and even with investing for just having that financial freedom later on in life, So I hope that we've been able to cover a lot in this topics. Are you sure we haven't missed some questions, Dennis? Because I feel like we had more come in. Have a look through, because I'm sure you've missed something, Dennis.
We've covered everything.
We've covered. No way, we haven't.
Yeah.
Well, we've got a bit of time. What do you want to talk about then? Because I'm here. I'm here, mate. What do you want to talk about?
I don't know.
Who do you think is going to win the Premier League? Who's your... Before we get into a bit of football topic, I hope that I've been able to cover sort of the basics on pensions and explaining SIPPs. And also, you know, if you're someone who you're not confident about sort of managing or investing your own pension, you know, you can have a personal pension with all these, with the companies that I mentioned, you know, Aviva, Scottish Widows, AJ Bell's, the People's Pensions, Nest. You can contact them, and you know the difference with that and a SIPP is that they're managed for you and they charge a fee, but a SIPP, obviously you're in control and you manage that yourself, so that's the difference. And then obviously the SIPP with pensions, you get the 60,000 annual allowance, whereas a stocks and shares ISA, you get the 20,000 annual allowance. Obviously cash ISA, they've reduced it. I think it was 20,000, now it's 12,000 in and around that. So I hope I've covered the basics, but if you're somebody, if you know, if you want to take control, or if you want to track down workplace pension, you know, ask HR, email, what are my pensions, who's it with, what companies, what is it invested in? You know, you usually, for workplace pensions, you usually get a sort of forecast. I remember years back when I looked at mine, it was something ridiculous, and that's why I decided to take control and sort of move it across in one place and invest it myself. That way I know that, you know, I've allocated this amount that I'm contributing every month, and I'm also getting that government top up as well. So it's good to track them down, and it's good to, you know, ask the right questions. It is your money after all. So yeah, now on the topic of football, Dennis, who do you think is going to win the Prem?
Honestly, it hurts me to say, but you know, the way Arsenal are playing now, it seems inevitable for them, to be honest. So yeah.
Arsenal. I mean, we were hoping. City have just gone off the. I mean, City are not quite the same anymore. Pep he's just. Do you think he's lost the love for it?
I think he's still passionate about it. It's just, you know, he's lost a few key players over.
Lost a few key players. Who's he lost?
De Bruyne and that.
Well, I mean, these players were coming to the end of sort of their tenure, Dennis. I mean, De Bruyne wasn't quite the same anymore. I know he's doing really well in Napoli, but he wasn't quite doing it. And Pep, for me, my opinion is I'm Jose Mourinho. I'm Jose Mourinho to the core. Jose Mourinho, for me, the best manager in the whole world. Never, ever going to be another manager like him. You know, for him to win the Champions League with Inter Milan, win it with Porto, no manager can with a set of players that he had, no manager, for me, he's up there. And Pep, for me, check the genius. I don't want to say it because people are just now going to get onto me, but don't get me wrong, fantastic manager, changed football. But now football has become a little bit more robotic for me. Yes, the tactical side of it, but I watch football and it's not the same. It's not the same as what it used to, but you know, obviously it's good because it's not gonna stay as it was or you know, as before. The game has evolved, but there's just that for me. Football has just become a bit one way, and I mean, we look at the top strikers, we look at top players in the world. You know, obviously you've got Vinny, you've got Haaland, you've got Bellingham. Who else? I hope you don't say anything about Bellingham.
Yeah, Dembele you know.
Yeah, Dembele, obviously, Ballon d'Or. Yeah. I've got a few friends who, they don't rate Bellingham, and absolutely, like, even with him being called up for England. And I'm like, I don't understand. I can't get my head around it. Best midfielder, up there with Zidane. Best midfielder since Zinedine Zidane. I even go as far as comparing him to Zidane.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I stand by that. I even go as far as doing that. Top, he's got everything, Bellingham. But football's changed. But yeah, Arsenal, congratulations in advance. And I know, I saw one of my friends today, Luke, and I was like, Luke, you guys gonna win it? And they're trying to play, oh no, not yet. No, Arsenal fans are unbearable, especially on social media. Can't stand them. I'm definitely logging off once it's confirmed that they're gonna win. But City's got to win their game in hand for it to still be a bit, but they're gonna Arsenal, congratulations, lads. But you know, yeah, it hurts us as Chelsea fans. Don't know what we're doing, but yeah. That's it, Dennis.
That's a wrap for the video.
We done?
Yeah.
Okay, mate. Well, listen, you have a nice weekend. And thank you guys for your continuous support. We do really appreciate each and every single one of you. Do remember to like, subscribe, share, and comment. Your support means a great deal. It means that, we're going to be able to keep doing this. And if there's any questions that you have, please do pop them in the comment section. Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate your support. Thank you too, Dennis. Really appreciate you.
No worries. Thank you.
Thank you.